You want to be in certainty energy. You want to be confident. You want to be sure. You want to be decisive because the most successful people make decisions quickly. Welcome to the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast hosted by me, Michaela J. Get ready to dive into an action-packed, bougie-based, and spiritually guided experience on all things manifesting your next level Lux life. Let's go. Hi, lovely. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to the Mindset, Magic, and Manifestation podcast with your girl. It is I, the Michaela J, here to teach you how to manifest your next level Lux life. Happy Wednesday. I hope your week is going lovely. I hope you're enjoying a good hump day. And I know this podcast episode is going to make it even better. For me, I am in a vibe. I am in a mood because literally tomorrow morning, I jet set off to Costa Rica, which is going to be amazing. I've never been before. It's my first time. I'm hosting a retreat with my 5 amazing clients. And it's funny because all of them came with the intention that they want to talk about like finding their passion, building their businesses. So it's going to be kind of like a business retreat. I'm so excited. The retreats are always like, they always have a theme, but what we actually work on depends on everybody coming, because I send out a form in advance. That way I can plan workshops that are kind of specific to what everybody's looking to get out of it. And I've never had a retreat where every single person's like, I want to find out how to grow my business, how to expand my business, how to start my business, how to find what I want to create a business around. So I'm really excited about that. And one of the attendees is my mom. She signed up. How fun is that? And I just can't wait to be in the sun and frolic and jump in the ocean and swim in our pool in our gorgeous villa. It's just going to be a vibe. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I'm at the Michaela J. Make sure you're following because I'll be posting all of the Costa Rica things because I'll literally be there for a fucking week. It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. And I can't wait to see my clients. So it's a special day you're listening. Also, we have pre-sale going on for my next retreat. And I'm not going to tell you where it is, but you have to message me on Instagram. Just DM me the word retreat and I will send you the info. It's going to be in early August. So if you're open the first week of August, shoot me a message. And we've got pre-sale going on for that right now. Okay. Today we are talking about confusion. I hear this all of the time. People lacking clarity, people feeling confused, people being unclear about their desires, their life, et cetera, et cetera. And I've had a revelation around this recently, plus a personal experience that we're going to dive into today. But one more thing before we talk all things confusion and avoidance and pivoting, I wanted to remind you that right now we've got the pre-sale going for my program, The Manifestation Effect. My signature manifestation program, the Method, is having her own up level. She is having her own little quantum leap. She's got a new name, a new branding, new vibe, new modules, new all of the things. It is now called The Manifestation Effect. And we have it on pre-sale right now because we haven't dropped the new modules yet. So when you join, number one, you're getting $500 off. So you're welcome. That's amazing. Love that. Number 2, you get immediate access to all of the Method trainings in our library. So you get to immediately dive into over 16 modules plus tons of bonuses that are super juicy, are going to totally shift your limiting beliefs and absolutely change your life. So like you could change your life before changing your life. Talk about a Q2 popping off. Okay. And then when the new modules drop, the price will be going up. Okay. And there's no promises that you're going to get access to the old trainings. The Manifestation Effect is my brand new manifestation system that is meant to grow with you at every new up level for all of your new manifestations and every new identity you are choosing to step into. It's truly like an identity recalibration meets a manifestation success system. It's so good. The Manifestation Effect, it's where your mindset and aligned action create instant results. So if you're ready to pop the fuck off, the link is in the show notes for you, and you can always message me on Instagram about it as well. So let's dive into this conversation about confusion. I was thinking about this the other day because I just went through kind of a little season of confusion. And I even did a podcast episode talking about where I wanted to make all these changes, and Turks and Caicos, I was doing so much thinking and I was like, I want to change this. I want to change that. I don't know what this is all going to look like. I don't know. I was just like wrapped up in like, it's it's unclear. I'm not sure. And the point of that podcast was talking about how I was taking action steps anyways. So when I was kind of in this dark gray area, I was still moving things forward. And I've actually had like so many things manifest because of that. I didn't wait for the perfect time. I didn't wait for everything to make sense. I didn't wait for the full download, right? But I was in this phase of like, I don't know. I felt unclear. I need to plan it out. I need to map it out. And I, being on the other side of that, have actually had a huge revelation that I think a lot of people need to hear, is that you're not confused. You're not unclear. It's not that you don't know. It's just that you're avoiding your next level. For me, I knew, like now being on the other side, I knew I wanted all of these changes. I knew this plan that I now have, or kind of this new vision, let's say, it's all the things I knew that I wanted. And when we say we're confused, we say, I don't know, we wrap ourselves up in these lies that we have no clue what we want. We're just distracting ourselves from the next level. This is actually a form of self-sabotage that we have because you have resistance around what's new, what's different. For me, when I was in that phase of all of these changes, I knew I was wanting to make changes and it was super uncomfortable, as making changes always is. The unknown is, naturally. And I knew some of the things that I needed to do were going to scare me and were going to be really different. I'm even like fidgeting with my nails. I'm like, right? Like I knew some of these things were going to create reactions in my body and in my mind. And so it's easier for us to stay in the I don't know. It's easier for you to stay in confusion than it is for you to quantum leap into what you actually know that you want. Because it's my true belief that you always know what you want. When you're so acutely aware of the things you don't want, it's like when you live in an apartment building, you're like, I literally hate this apartment building. Like it has horrible lighting and dingy carpet and our balcony sucks and it overlooks a parking lot and the kitchen's brown. And it's just like, I just hate it here. The shower's ugly, blah, blah, blah. You know, all the things you don't want. And then you tell me, well, I don't know what I do want. That's a lie. You do know what you do want. You do know. You look on Zillow and you see these beautiful, amazing $1 million homes and you're like, oh, a soaker tub. Oh my gosh, that view, a pool. Oh my gosh, those hardwood floors. Oh my gosh, the whole ceilings, natural light. You do know, you're just afraid to admit what it is you actually want. And you're even more afraid of going after it. Here's the thing about confusion. It's a mask that gets to keep you safe. For me, when I was in that phase, like, I don't know, I was still taking action steps. So I'll give myself a half point for that. But really, I was just resisting actually going after it and continuing to say, I'm confused. I'm not sure. I'm unclear. You don't actually have to face the action steps you need to take. The big action steps that will get you out of your comfort zone, that will get you those next level results. If you complain with your friends, let's just keep going on the apartment example. If you complain with all your friends about how you hate your apartment and you're like, but I just don't know what to do. I don't know what I want. I don't know like what's going to be doable for me, blah, 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 blah. If you were to say, I hate this apartment and I'm actually just like dreaming of living in a 2-bedroom apartment with tall ceilings, natural light, all hardwood floors. I want a separate soaker tub from the shower. I want the building to have a sauna. I would love for it to have a gym and a pool and a hot tub. I want a grill. Like if you were to detail all of this out, then what? Then you have to actually go find it, because now you're sitting with your bestie at coffee telling him or her exactly what it is that you want. And they're like, that sounds fucking amazing. Have you looked? Have you looked on apartments.com? Have you looked on Zillow? Have you looked on an apartment locator? Have you reached out to a real estate agent? Blah, 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 blah. When you know what you want, you are faced with the reality that you actually now have to take action. So it is easier for you to stay quote unquote confused, hiding in the dark, than it is for you to face, oh, I do know what I want, and now I have to go get it. I want to tell you 3 things that I oftentimes see when we're wrapped up in this confusion phase that are us avoiding our next level. Number 1 is our language. This is always what I see. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what that would look like. I don't know what's doable for me. I don't know how. Like we have all of these very disempowering statements that we are using. Number one, I absolutely despise the phrase, I don't know, because it immediately discredits your intuition. Your intuition is important. It's your gut feeling. When you finish like a morning ritual, let's say you just finish your morning journaling and you're asking yourself, like, what do I feel called to do? What do I feel inspired to do? That gut reaction is literally the universe communicating through your body saying, go here at this time right now, do this thing, because you're going to meet that person. You're going to be in the right place at the right time. You're going to have that opportunity. When you say, I don't know, you're saying, I don't trust my intuition. I'm ignoring the pings I'm getting in my body. I'm ignoring the ideas that are coming to my mind. I'm not thinking about what's inspiring me right now. I don't want to look at that. And so then your intuition gets quieter and quieter and quieter. It's like somebody that gives you a gift and you don't appreciate it. They don't want to give you a gift anymore. It's the same thing with your intuition. So don't shut down your intuition saying, I don't know. You do know. If you know what you don't want, what's on the other side? What would be the opposite of that? You just have to have the courage to admit that that's what you want. Most people want to complain about their home because they're too afraid to say they actually want a $1.5 million house and somebody asks them how, and you have to say, I have no idea, right? Because that for you in that moment feels threatening. It feels big. It feels scary. And maybe in like a reality sense, you don't know how you would afford a $1.5 million house, but you could always say, I'm going to figure it out. You don't even have to say, I don't know how. You could just say, I'm going to figure it out. Like, wouldn't that be so badass if I could figure that out? This is what I want. This is something better. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way. Instead of wasting your life and your time staying quote unquote confused and unsure just because you're afraid to admit that you want something and that you're going to have to figure it out, that it's not just easy for you to know exactly what to do. And a lot of times when we're in this confusion state, we're asking other people for input. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Should I do this? Should I call them? Should I text them? Should I put in a bid here? Should I do that? Should I join this? What about that? You're asking everybody's advice for every single thing all of the time. What are you wearing? What should I wear? What do you think about this photo? All of the things. Because then you get everybody's opinion. And again, here's another layer of self-sabotage. One friend says one thing, one friend says another. Now you're like, well, I can't take action because you said one thing and you said another and I don't know. And again, it just gives you another reason to stand still, to not make changes, to stay stagnant. So you're almost building your own sphere of proof as to why you should stay where you are, even though you don't want to. It's so ridiculous that we do this to ourselves. The second thing I often see when we are in a confusion state is that we're simply avoiding what we know needs to happen, and that's actually creating the confusion. On this side of things, you know what needs to be done. Okay. You know what you want. You know the action steps that need to be taken. It's not like, let me admit what I want and I'm going to have to figure it out. Like, no, you know what you want and you know that you need to figure it out, or you know exactly what to do to figure it out to make it happen. And we're just avoiding it. You're avoiding it out of fear. You're avoiding it out of doubts, out of what ifs. You're pushing it off. You're creating every excuse to not go do it, not invest in the thing, not go join the gym, not do the new morning routine, like everything. You're just avoiding it. And that creates your confusion because you're in so much limbo energy, so much gray area that becomes your vibration. Your vibration is now confused. Your vibration is now undecided. And that does not manifest things that you want in your life. You want to be in certainty energy. You want to be confident. You want to be sure. You want to be decisive, because the most successful people make decisions quickly. And I was retaught this lesson. You guys, this is so funny, and why I'm talking about this and why I had this revelation. There was something I knew I wanted to invest in. It was a coaching program. I knew I wanted to invest in this, and I knew there was 3 levels. There was like the basic level, there was like VIP, and then there was like above and beyond, it was called like the all in. And I knew I wanted the all in, and I was terrified because this was like the biggest investment I have ever made. And that scared the shit out of me. And I knew I wanted it, and I knew I wanted it. And I let everything distract me from it. And I was like, oh, well, now I have a friend in town, and oh, well, I've got this going on. And oh, like, okay, well, I'll get back to her about that later. Like pushing it off, avoiding. And then I started to feel confused. I started to feel confused about, well, what do I want? And does this actually align with what I want? They built the confusion because I was in so much undecided energy. One side of me knew I wanted it, knew it was supporting where I was going. The other side of me was the fear side, and not making that decision and letting it sit in limbo created a vibration of confusion. You feel and create the confusion because you know what you want and you're still not going after it. So subconsciously, you're like, I don't understand what's going on here. I don't understand why we haven't taken this action step. I want to close this loop in our brain. I don't want to think about this anymore. I want it to be done, and it's not. So now I'm confused why it's not done when it's right in front of you. And you guys, like, I was avoiding this so hard because it was such a stretch for me. And this is so out of the norm for me because I'm so decisive and I'm so on it. And I like always take action quickly. And this was one that just stretched me so far. It like tested everything in me to the point where I was walking to get in my car one morning and I was literally talking myself out of the all in. And I was like, maybe I'll just do the VIP, like no big deal. It's still a good package. I still get more. It's still gonna be a stretch. Literally talking myself out of it. And I hit my head on my fucking car. The universe literally hit me over the head while I was trying to talk, or while I was talking myself out of it. And I am not kidding. I go, fuck. I hit my head. And then I get in my car and I immediately voice noted the coach and I was like, send me the link. I'm doing the all in. I literally just hit my head on the fucking car. Like the universe straight up bonked me over the head. So sometimes when you know what needs to be done and you're afraid of it and you're avoiding it and you're keeping yourself distracted, you're not facing it for whatever reason, that creates your confusion. Because now you have created an ambiance, an environment of limbo energy, and that will really slow down your manifestations. And then you'll be confused why nothing is manifesting. And the final thing, the third thing I see when people are stuck in this confusion vibration is that you are overthinking the steps you need to take. Okay. You think you need the full game plan. It all needs to make sense. It all needs to add up. We kind of talked about this in that episode when I felt like, oh, I'm unclear, but I'm still taking action, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, you think you need the whole game plan when in reality, you just need to put one foot in front of the other. And if you were putting one foot in front of the other, the next action steps would become clear. But you're overthinking the answer and telling yourself that you don't know what you're doing, that you're confused, that you're in over your head. You're making some sort of story or meaning about yourself simply because you're overthinking the answer. A lot of times you know what you want, you know what to do, you know what's next for you. And where the overthinking kicks in is that it's simple. It's very simple. It's very easy. And you overthink it because humans always want to make things complex. We always want to make things harder for ourselves if we haven't healed that. We want to make things complicated because if it's complicated, it gets overwhelming. And then if it's overwhelming, you can just tap out. Another form of self-sabotage, right? Like we want to add on all these steps. We also like making things complicated and not simple. That way we go through all this quote unquote hard work and we feel like we've really earned it. This is a multiple forms of self-sabotage. We overthink the answer that comes up. For example, let's say you want to become a full-time YouTuber this year and you think, okay, well, like, I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know. I want to do this kind of channel, but I'm not sure. Like, all of that is such bullshit. You're just avoiding your next level. You know what you need to do. You need to be posting regularly once or twice a week or whatever your formula is. You need to just know what you're going to talk about and start filming videos like that. Oh, you don't know how to edit? Well, you know how to Google. You can figure it out, right? And you act like you need this complex strategy when all you need to do is follow these simple steps and trust that if there are more complex pieces, you will learn them along the way and that will be revealed to you. But in overthinking, we're like, well, it can't be that simple. It can't just be I'm posting consistently. It can't just be that I can edit on iMovie for free and then post and then make 6 figures on YouTube this year. Like, it can't just be that easy. Yes, it can. If you decide it's going to be easy, it's going to be easy. And if you let it be simple, it will be simple. In fact, the things that are the easiest and the most simple have the most success because there's no mental gymnastics involved. Overall, confusion is the manifestation of resistance. Whatever you are resisting at your next level, whatever you are avoiding, if you feel confused, it's a manifestation of that. If you're like, oh, I want this, but I feel so unclear, like, okay, great. So then we have some mindset work that we need to get into. What do you think it's going to take? Do you think it's going to be hard and complicated and you don't want to put in the work? You think it's going to take a lot of time and you think you don't have the time? Like, we have to start to look into those things. But what I need you to do is step one is admit to yourself that you do know what you want. You're not confused. You're just avoiding that next level, whether it's you're embarrassed because you don't know how it's going to happen. Maybe you feel underqualified. Maybe you want a really high up role at your job, but you feel like I haven't been here long enough. People have been here longer. People are in higher leadership positions. Like, I don't know how I would get there. You're overthinking the action steps you do know how to do. You know what you need to do. You're not doing it. And so then you end up confused. Like, we have to look at this resistance so we can break through to the next level. And if we don't break these patterns of your speech, like saying, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm unclear, asking everyone, their mom and their dog for a fucking opinion, just to like then not do anything. Like, if we don't work on that, if we don't work on how we avoid certain tasks that we know we need to do, if we don't work on that relationship, I almost put 3. If we don't work on that relationship with letting things be simple, letting things be easy, letting the answer be the answer, not overthinking it, trusting ourselves to know that the next step is going to appear. If we don't work on that, you can't get to the next level. All of those things will keep you bogged down. It will hit you over the head like it hit me over the head. And when that happened, I laughed at myself because I'm like, I knew this is what I wanted. And I just had to find it in myself to be courageous enough to do it. And for a moment, I didn't think I was going to. And the universe hit me over the head and said, bitch, do you know who the fuck you are? And I said, oh my God, yeah, I do. Hi, thank you for bringing me back down to earth. Oh my God, right? So it's like we have to overcome these things because even myself, I was capping myself by not just leaping into that. I could have taken that opportunity a week prior, but I'd been putting it off. And I think to myself, like, I would have been so much further along if I had done that a week sooner. So this is what you have to think about. Every time you're stuck in this quote unquote confusion, you feel unclear, you think you don't know, you're overthinking something, you're avoiding something, it's costing you your life. That's what it really has been on my mind in 2025. Like, this is costing me my life. This is costing me time. I'm thinking about this left and right instead of just making a decision, making a move. It's costing me my life because I could be taking the opportunity, I could make the leap, I could book the trip, whatever it is, and be on the other side, learn those lessons, have those up levels, have those experiences already. Like, there are so many ways that you get your life back by leaping in. Leaping in when you feel like, I don't know every single step, but I'm willing to figure it out. Leaping in when you say, cool, I, for a long time said I didn't know what I wanted, but actually I do. So like, I'm going to leap into that and I'm going to own it. And people might say, you were confused yesterday. How can you be so sure today? And you're going to say, I don't care. I'm sure today. And I actually was sure yesterday. I was just too scared to say it to myself. I was too scared to admit it. I was avoiding it. I was avoiding what I knew I needed to do because it was uncomfortable, because I was afraid. But today I'm not afraid. Today I'm courageous and making that decision. You get to decide, I'm going to be courageous, not confused. I'm going to be courageous, not confused. Every day, every moment, every decision, you are offered that option. And confusion is just the manifestation of resistance. So whatever you think you feel confused about right now, I want you to do some journaling on that. What's the resistance from my next level? If I didn't have to hold myself to it, if no one held me to it, and I could just admit to myself what I wanted, what would I want right now? And open it up. Don't be scared. Say it. Say it out loud, write it in your journal. You don't have to tell anybody. You can burn it after for all I care. Admit it to yourself and then ask, why am I avoiding this? What about this scares me? What am I resisting here? Where is this drama coming from? Because I know I'm not confused. And decide that. Decide that you're going to be courageous over confused, and this will change your life. And do it sooner than I did, because then you won't hit your head on your car. Okay. Let me know your thoughts on this episode inside of our free Facebook group. It's linked in the show notes. It's called Mindset Magic and Manifestation. Like I said, free to join. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this podcast episode. Okay. So request to join there. And don't forget, we've got the pre-sale going on right now for the manifestation effect. It's not going to be here for long. So make sure you get your booty inside, and I will talk to you on Monday. Bye. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to leave a 5-star rate and review. I love hearing your takeaways and wins from the podcast in the review section, so don't forget. Love you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye.